You are surrounded by more people than any human being in history has ever been surrounded by. Right now, on your phone alone, you have access to more human contact than your ancestors would have encountered in an entire lifetime. Billions of people, thousands of conversations, an infinite feed of faces, voices, opinions, and stories. All of it available instantly, at any hour, without leaving your room. And yet, you know the feeling. You have felt it on a Friday night when the notifications are coming in and you're lying there feeling completely, inexplicably alone. You felt it in a crowded room full of people who like you, laughing at your jokes, happy you're there. You felt it scrolling through photos of people whose lives look full and connected and bright, while something in your chest quietly aches. This is not a character flaw. This is not ingratitude. This is not something you can fix by trying harder to appreciate what you have. This is biology, and the story starts a very long time ago. For almost the entire span of human existence, loneliness was not a feeling, it was a warning. Your nervous system did not experience social disconnection as an emotional state. It experienced it as a threat signal, a physical alarm. The same category of danger as hunger, thirst, or rustle of something moving in the dark. Because for your ancestors, being alone was not just uncomfortable, it was often fatal. Humans survived not because they were the strongest animal, or fastest, or the most physically dangerous. They survived because they cooperated, because they shared food, shared knowledge, shared the labor of survival across a group. A single human being cut off from the tribe was vulnerable to everything: predators, weather, starvation, injury, with no one to help. The savannah did not forgive isolation. So your brain developed a solution. It built loneliness into your operating system as a biological alarm. The way pain tells you that your body is being damaged, loneliness tells you that your social bonds are weakening. It is supposed to be motivating, aversive enough to drive you back toward connection, toward the group, toward the people who keep you alive. This is what neuroscientist John Capaccio, who spent decades at the University of Chicago studying loneliness, described as its evolutionary purpose. Loneliness is not a sign of failure. It is a survival signal, a prompt. It is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is what happens when that ancient alarm system wakes up in a modern world. Because the alarm was not designed to be triggered by the number of followers you have, it was not designed to respond to text messages, or group chats, or video calls. It was designed to respond to something far more specific, far more physical, far more ancient than any of that. It was designed to respond to presence. Your nervous system evolved in a world where being with your tribe meant smelling them, hearing their breathing, feeling their warmth nearby, watching their faces shift and change in real time. It meant the physical experience of being among bodies that knew you, that had history with you, that would notice if you disappeared. This is what your brain is scanning for. Not followers, not likes, not the number of unread messages in your inbox. Bodies, presence, the physical signal that you are embedded in a group that knows you exist. And here is where the mismatch becomes almost cruel. You can be technically surrounded by hundreds of people at a party, in an office, in a city of millions, and your nervous system can still register as isolated if these connections lack a certain quality. If no one in the room truly knows you, if the conversations stay surface level, if you are performing a version of yourself rather than simply being yourself among people who accept you as you are, your brain does not count bodies. It measures depth. Research Julianne Holt-Lundsted at Brigham Young University has published extensive work on loneliness and health, showing that the quality of social connection matters far more than the quantity. Her research found that lonely people face significantly elevated health risks, comparable in impact to well-known physical risk factors. Not because they have no one around them. Often they are surrounded by people, but because the connections they do not register to their nervous system as real tribe bonds. The brain is not fooled by proximity. It is looking for something else. It is looking for the feeling of being known. And this is what makes modern life so quietly devastating for so many people. We have built a world that is technically more connected to any world in human history. More ways to reach people, more platforms, more content, more contact hours, and yet the specific type of connection that your ancient nervous system is scanning for, the deep, face-to-face, body-present, fully known kind, is becoming rarer. We moved away from the neighborhoods where everyone knew our names. We built cities where you can live next to someone for 10 years and never learn their surname. We replaced slow, deep friendships built over decades with fast, wide social networks that cover enormous surface area and almost no depth. We started spending the hours our ancestors used to spend sitting around fires together, talking, telling stories, being witnessed by people who knew us completely, staring at separate screens in separate rooms. The alarm kept going off. There is something else worth understanding about how loneliness works physiologically. Capaccio's research found that chronic loneliness does not just feel bad, it changes how the brain processes the world. Lonely people begin to perceive social situations as more threatening. They become more sensitive to rejection cues, more likely to interpret ambiguous social signals as hostile, more likely to withdraw. The alarm, if it keeps firing without relief, begins to warp the very system it is trying to protect. It starts to make genuine connection harder to achieve and harder to believe in even when it is offered. This is why loneliness can feel self-penetrating. Not because lonely people are broken or unlikable or doing something wrong, but because a nervous system that has been running a threat alarm for too long begins to see threats everywhere. It is trying to protect you from further rejection by keeping you guarded, and the very guardedness makes the deep connection harder to reach. Your brain is trying to save you from a danger it was designed for, but the danger it was designed for no longer looks the same, and the protection it offers is now part of the problem. So what does this mean for you? It means that the ache you feel in a crowded room is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that your biology is working. It is your nervous system doing the job it was built to do, scanning for the specific kind of connection that has kept humans alive for 200,000 years and finding that the modern world, for all its noise and contact and connectivity, is not giving it what it needs. The answer is not more contact. It is not more followers or more messages or more time on platforms designed to simulate the feeling of being surrounded. The research is consistent. What moves the needle on loneliness is not width of connection, but depth. Conversations that go somewhere real. Time spent with people in the same physical space. The slow, unglamorous work of letting people know who you actually are and staying present long enough to know them back. Your nervous system does not need an audience. It needs a tribe. And building a real tribe in the modern world, a small group of people who truly know you, who are physically present with, whose lives are genuinely tangled up with yours, is one of the most countercultural and quietly radical things you can do. 200,000 years of evolution are asking you to do exactly that. The room can be full of people, and the alarm will keep going until the right ones are in it.